We are not in the past, we are in the present, but we are talking about Panini. It is the 2025 Panini PFL Combat Anthology. Really interesting looking product, and we're going to talk about it here today. Shout out to Josh at the 047 Sports and TCG Cards. He hit me up and was like, hey, check this out. This is kind of an interesting product. And I agree. And one thing that I really liked about this product is the price point, right? So let's check this out. So it is up at Steel City right now for $120. We got it over at Blowout for same thing, $120, and DA Card World a little bit above at $124.99. Now, it is coming, going to be dropping at Panini's website, so you could potentially order it there for cheaper. Sometimes in the past, whenever we had the drops, sometimes the pre-sales with Panini were a little bit higher than they were actually selling for. So if this is a product that you might want to check out, that is something to think about. If you don't need it to open it quick, if you don't need it specifically on release day, maybe that will be an option for you. I got in at $129.95, and that's shipped to the house from Blowout Cards. The release date is going to be November 5th, 2025. So potentially this could be coming out right before we get 2025 Topps Finest. Now, guaranteed hits. This is kind of where it gets a little dicey with Panini, right? Because they don't give us a lot of information. They don't give us odds as well. So it could definitely get a little dicey. But we get a guaranteed 2 autographs, which we're going to look at the checklist here in a minute and look at some of the images that they gave us, as well as 20 inserts or parallels. If you know me, I hate the or in the description on that. 20 inserts or parallels. Like, that's always a little weird. We don't have odds. We don't necessarily know how rare these inserts are. So will they even command any value, to be determined. So really, when looking at the guaranteed hits, this really messes it up, because I don't know how many numbered cards, how many parallels are going to be in this product. But for 2 autos, and with the potential to hit some of these autos that we're going to check out in a second when we look on all of the checklists, kind of a fun rip at $120. Also, just the anthology aspect in this product. They have WWE wrestling. They have boxers. They have UFC fighters. They also have PFL fighters. So it's kind of just a fun mix of different sports, hence the anthology, combat anthology name they have on this product. So let's go ahead and we'll check out some of these images real quick, and then we will check out the checklist in itself. So this is actually the product, right? We got Dakota Decheva, who is she's got a lot of buzz right now, man. Now, honestly, I haven't seen her fight, but she's got a lot of buzz, and some, commentators and some people that I respect their opinions are really saying really good things about her. Could we see a crossover to her within the premier MMA organization in the UFC? That's definitely a possibility. And if that does happen, her cards from this product and her cards in the past are going to have some type of value, being, early MMA cards, not necessarily licensed UFC cards, which may command the biggest premium over time. But we know that the early MMA cards still command value if these people ever cross over and have, a big star appeal. But yeah, we got Ric Flair, we got Mystico, and we got Mike Tyson. We got a lot of names in this product. Let's check out some of these images. So this is going to be one of the inserts. It's classics. I actually like this design. I always like stippling in designs, and the background kind of has some stippling going on. We got a pretty tame color palette, a little muted with black and white kind of, and then the orange here to stand out. So not necessarily anything incredible, but depending on the checklist, right? Like, I could see this being a fun insert and a fun one to get. But again, with Panini, they don't give us odds. So like these inserts, we really have no idea if these are rare, if they're going to be, short print or case hit. It's really going to be kind of tough with those. And we got the MMA stars. Again, we got a lot of not only UFC, we have PFL, and we also have some older guys, from Pride in this as well. So we got Fedor here, and pretty good design. Not necessarily anything crazy, but I do think that this would probably have some pretty good shine with the background. I think all of these are going to be sticker autos. Panini hit us with a metric ton of sticker autos in 21 through 23, so I would imagine that continues with this product. We got another insert here, Combat Immortals, and we got Floyd Money Mayweather, and we got some like pillars in the background. We got a little bit of, almost looks like shirt material, a flag maybe waving there, and then we got Money Mayweather right here. So a really interesting checklist, and that was the main thing that kind of drew me to this product. Is I'm a fan of, obviously UFC and MMA, but I'm also a fan of boxing. Not necessarily a huge fan of professional wrestling and WWE, but some of the bigger names I think would be kind of fun to hit in this product. They also have Kabooms in here, so this is really probably the one card that I would want to hit out of this product. There's also a couple dual autos that I would want to hit, but this would be one of the top ones. We got Satoshi Kojima right here, and I'm guessing he's a professional wrestler with these sick knee pads on and these boots. But yeah, man, we got pretty much the same Kaboom design that we saw in 22 and 23 with Panini. Always a good look. These are very, very popular. They have grown on me quite a bit over the time. And yeah, that would definitely be a fun one to hit out of this product. We also got Mike Tyson in this product. And this one reminds me a lot of the Allen and Ginter Panini Golden Age. Looks very similar to kind of how Allen and Ginter is designed. But I like this. I think this is a cool shot. A cool little background here. And then maybe we'll get some nice bordering. Maybe a nice chrome border. And lastly, we have Ric Flair with the Auto Combat Anthology Ric Flair. I'm sure this is going to shine like crazy. So that's some of the designs. We got a taste of some of the designs, and that's it. That's all that's out there. They do not give you a lot with this product. But now we'll go ahead and we'll check out the checklist, see what is potentially in this product and what that looks like. If you are still watching right now, you are the BMF. Hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Think about joining the Bat Crew. All that stuff helps the channel so much. Thanks for watching. And we're going to use Beckett. We're going to use Beckett today for this one. 17 different parallels. There is a lot of parallels in this product. We got 2 unnumbered here. So you got Galactic and Silver on the 100 card base set parallel checklist. 275 all the way down to, and we got 2 101s, Black Fireworks and the KO. Again, we have really no information on what any of those look like. But let's check out who is in this checklist, man. We got Butterbean, Rampage Jackson, Oleg Taktarov. That's an old school UFC 1, early UFC names. Ivan Putski, Chael Sonnen, Luke Rockhold, Chuck Liddell, Deontay Wilder, Nathan Kelly, Ric Flair, Mark Kerr, Matt Hughes, TJ Dillashaw, Tony Atlas. Okay, that's kind of an interesting. That's a commentator. Kimo Leopoldo, Josh Thompson, Phil Davis, Ken Shamrock, Paul Hughes, that's PFL, Hulk Hogan, Mark Coleman, Kurt Angle, Chet Congo, John Fitch, David Abbott, Daniel Cormier, Ben Askren, Mike Tyson, Usman Nurmagomedov. That would be interesting. I definitely would like a card of his. He is a champion right now, and it's inevitable, right? It's inevitable that eventually he comes to the UFC, so it would be cool to get one of his cards before he does come to the UFC. We got Fedor, Josh Barnett, Boss Fruit, and Floyd Mayweather, Josh Koscheck, Marco Ruas, Kung Lee, that's an old school name too. Masayuki Kikiuri, Tom Lawler, Fabian Edwards, Rulon Gardner. See, we even got Olympic wrestling in the house. Patchy Mix, Johnny Eblin. He's a really good fighter. He was in Bellator before. Impa Kasagane, I think he's in PFL right now. Sadabai C, Matt Riddle, Mavlid Koibuleyev, Donovan Dijic, Gadzi Rabadanov, Bobby Fish, Chris Cyborg, Ngannou, Koreshkov, Linton Vassell, Mystico, Tycoon Kim, Minoru Suzuki, Jake Hadley, Pedro Hizzo, Costello Vanstinas, Valentina Moldavsky, Dajin, Satoshi Kojima, Rodrigo Nacimiento, Ultimo Guerrera, Henan Ferreira, Guy Metzer, Liz Carmouche, Oleg Popov, Jesus Pinedo, Mads Krul Kruger, Sullivan Cauley, Paul Walter Hauser, Vadim Nemkov, Frank Shamrock, Clay Gallard, Prem Primus, Gabriel Braga, Kenta, Antonio Carlos Jr., Brock Anderson, Corey Anderson, Tim Sylvia, Jason Jackson, Alexander Romanov. I was wondering what happened to Alexander Romanov. He had a brief stint in the UFC, and I guess we know where he's at now. Logan Storley, Alex Hammerstone, Simeon Powell, C.W. Anderson, Biago Ali Walsh, Dakota Decheva. Again, she's going to be a very popular person in this product and probably one of the biggest hits you could get in this product. Talia Santos. We got John Jones in this thing, man. Don King, Tommy Hitman Hearns, Gary Goodrich. That is a name I haven't heard in a long time as well. Chris Lieben, Mark Schultz, Demetrius Johnson. Some say the GOAT is in this. Paige Van Zandt and Tom Erickson. So a lot of interesting names, man. A lot of interesting names in this product. You've got Hall of Fame boxers. You've got Hall of Fame UFC fighters. You've got some up and coming people in PFL, and a lot of the names from PFL are like the biggest names in PFL right now, which is very interesting to me. You've got, you know, Butterbean, Mike Tyson, you got Deontay Wilder, you got some really good names, not only from the UFC but also from some really Hall of Fame names from boxing. Just an interesting and fun rip at this price point, in my opinion. Let's continue. We'll check out these auto checklists and see what these have to offer us here. So these are going to be the base signatures. And one thing about this checklist that I just from skimming, there are a lot of, look at all the auto. This is just auto checklists. So there's a ton of autos in this product. And who knows what you're going to get, right? You do get 2 guaranteed autos. So let's see. We've got a green fireworks. So they have 1 unnumbered parallel. Then we got 2 golds and 2 1-of-1s. We got a platinum and a black. Interesting. I wonder which one's going to look better of those 2. Which one would you rather hit? We'll have to see once they come out. We got Butterbean, Rampage, Taktarov, Ivan Putski, Chael Sonnen, Luke Rockhold, Chuck Liddell, Wilder, Ric Flair, Mark Kerr. Is this the same as the base checklist? I think this is the exact same as the base checklist, so I'm not going to read all those. All the names that we just had are going to be the same there. Classic signatures. We got gold of 10 and platinum 101. Satoshi Kojima, Hulk Hogan, big wrestling name. Tony Atlas, Hammerstone, Ken Shamrock, Mystico, Tom Lawler, Chael Sonnen, Kurt Angle, Ivan Putski, Matt Riddle, Dakota Decheva, Ultimo Guerrera, and Ric Flair. Okay, so of the classics, Dakota Decheva is in the classics. That's interesting. Who would you want to hit? So I'd probably, Flair's a big name, Decheva, Kurt Angle, let's see, Hulk Hogan. Those are probably the only names I'd really want to hit out of that. And again, I have no idea as far as like boxing cards, who sells. I think boxing is pretty niche, and I doubt, you know, a Tony Atlas card is going to be valuable. But as far as the WWE goes, I have no reference on what sells there. So I'm purely kind of in this for the huge names that I know in WWE and all of the MMA fighters in this. All right, we got Combat Immortal Signature. So I'm guessing there's also a base here. I can't imagine that they're only going to have gold and platinum autos in this. Yeah, so there is a base in this also. So we got John Jones, Mark Kerr, Deontay Wilder, Ben Askren, Tim Sylvia, Bas Rutten, Kung Lee, Chuck Liddell, Pedro Hizzo, Josh Barnett, Butterbean, Matt Hughes, Mike Tyson, Frank Shamrock, Gary Goodrich, Tommy Hitman Hearns, Daniel Cormier, Minoru Suzuki, Mark Coleman, Quentin Jackson, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now that is a pretty decent checklist. John would be cool. Mark Kerr, we got the Rocks movies out, Deontay Wilder, Ben Askren, Bas Rutten, Liddell, Butterbean, Tyson, Tommy Hearns, DC, Quentin Jackson, Mayweather. Like there's many names on there that I would be happy to hit. And again, if we have any of the leaks, I'll be throwing them up before. But like I said at the beginning, we only have like 8 photos of any of these, so they didn't give us much to go off of. Iconic Rivals dual autos. So initially, when I heard about this, I quickly went over to the checklist and was scrolling through, and I saw this one, and I was like, dude, I think there could be some nukes in this product, and this is the one that I think would be nukes. We got Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. I don't know much about wrestling, but I know those 2 names, and I think people would go crazy over that. We've got Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson, 2 all-time boxers. We got Tim Sylvia and Fedor. You know, Fedor is going to do some of the heavy lifting on that, but that would be pretty sick as well. We got Mark Coleman and Maurice Smith, 2 OG names. I don't think that one would sell very well, but that is pretty sick. Now, this one I would love to get. I would be hyped if I got a Liddell and Rampage. That would be awesome. And this one right here, that is the one that I would want the most. John Jones, Daniel Cormier on the Iconic Rivals dual auto. Now, again, I don't know if this is going to be a good card. I don't know if this is going to look good at all, but anything John Jones and DC I want to get, because I think it is the best bad blood rivalry we've ever had in the UFC, and I don't think we'll ever see one like that again. You have 2 really unique guys, and you have just like John Jones playing the ultimate heel in that rivalry, and they're both all-timers, so like, dude, that would be such a sick card to get. All right, we got Mac Classics signatures. Again, probably have a base in this. You got quite a bit of parallels in here, so I bet the odds are this is going to be, you know, a big one to hit, and they're probably going to have a lot of these in your box. You know, a big percentage that you'll hit one of these. Red of 99, blue, cracked ice, gold, squared circle. That's interesting. I wonder what that is. Crimson mask, also interesting. And then platinum 101. Let's see. We got, what did it say? 34 cards. Donovan Dijak, Ivan Putski, Brock Anderson, Ben Askren, Tom Erickson, Daniel Cormier, Baba Thunder, Satoshi Kojima, Himawari, Ikuro Kwan, Ric Flair, C.W. Anderson, Mark Kerr, Star Jr., Matt Hughes, Mads Krul Kruger, Ultimo Guerrero, Hulk Hogan, Josh Koscheck, Matt Riddle, Blue Panther Jr., Shoko Nakajima, Bobby Fish, Tony Atlas, Cesar Duran, Kushido, Matthew Justice, Alex Hammerstone, Paul London, Kurt Angle, Mark Coleman, Mystico, Selena De La Renta, and Tom Lawler. I don't want to hit this one, man. That seems like it's very WWE heavy, which that's not necessarily why I'm in this product. So hopefully, cross the fingers, whenever I get this, we don't get a Matt Classic signature. Oh, we got more Matt Classics? This is just the red. We're going to skip that. MMA Stars, and again, red. A lot of parallels. A lot of parallels on here on the MMA Stars, but this should be a good checklist, right? They're basically giving us all of the MMA fighters within, you know, UFC, Pride, and even some PFL in here. So we got Mark Coleman, Chael Sonnen, Paige Van Zant, Kung Lee, Fedor, Tim Sylvia, Boss Rutan, Josh Barnett, Marco Rua, Mark Kerr, Czech Congo, Pedro Hizzo, David Abbott, TJ Dillashaw, Guy Metzger, Josh Koscheck, Maurice Smith, Matt Hughes, Chris Lieben, Demetrius Johnson, Daniel Cormier, Frank Shamrock, Patricky Pitbull, John Fitch, Ken Shamrock, Pat Miletich, Oleg Taktarov, Chuck Liddell, Quentin Jackson, AJ McKee, Gary Goodrich, John Jones, Kimo Leopoldo, Luke Rockhold, and Ben Askren. It's awesome hearing some of these old school names in this product, right? Like all the ones that I'm highlighting here are just old school, man. You got Tank Abbott in this. So it's going to be kind of a unique rip in that I think you kind of have to have really liked the previous you know, iterations or the previous timelines, the previous classes of UFC and kind of the history of the sport to really appreciate this product, because there are a lot of old school fighters in this. But to me, that's pretty fun. I think this is pretty fun, and I'm excited to see what I hit. Now with this, right? It is an anthology. You could just get WWE, you could just get WWE in boxing. There's no guarantee that we even get any cool MMA fighter cards, but at this price point, I thought it would be a fun rip. Ring Royalty, Matt Hogan, Matt Riddle, Alex Hammerstone, Ultimo Guerrero, Brock Anderson, Mike Tyson, Ric Flair, Satoshi Kojima, Bobby Fish, Butterbean, C.W. Anderson, Floyd, Donovan Dijak, Mads Kruger, Kurt Angle, Mystico, Tom Lawler, Shotsky, Deontay Wilder. See, like in this one, right? If I get Alex Hammerstone, I don't even know who that is. And then we get, you know, somebody that we also don't know, Mystico. Like, that's going to be rough. But, all right, last one. Sweet Science Signature. We got Butterbean, Deontay Wilder, Lennox Lewis, Floyd, Mike, Paige Van Zant, and Maurice Smith. Paige Van Zant making it in on the Sweet Science Signature. That's cool. Yeah, man. Again, 7 cards. Some pretty big names in this, though. That one might be a little bit more forgiving with these guys right here doing kind of some of the heavier lifting. Interesting autos in here, man. Now let's see what we got with inserts and what we got specifically on the Kaboom, because the Kaboom would be pretty sick in my opinion to hit one of those classics. Now I think we may have saw that one earlier, so I'll flash that up. And for the parallels, we got unnumbered silver. I wonder if we might have a base in this as well, I'm imagining. And then we got a lot of parallels. So this product, they probably printed a good amount of boxes on this product. We got Minoru Suzuki, Usman Nurmagomedov, Satoshi Kojima, Biagio, Ali Walsh, Hulk Hogan, Fedor, Tony Atlas, Jason Jackson, Hammerstone, Shamrock, Mystico, Paul Hughes, Tom Lawler, Chael Sonnen, Kurt Angle, Francis, Ivan Putski, Johnny Eblin, Matt Riddle, Dakota Decheva again, Paul Waterhauser, Chris Cyborg, Ultimo Guerrero, Corey Anderson, Ric Flair. Couple names there. I'm probably not going to be collecting any sets from this product, right? Just because one of my criteria for collecting sets is like I have to enjoy or be a fan of almost all of the fighters in that checklist, and there's going to be probably so many of these people that I'm not fans of that I don't think I would be collecting any of these sets. But still, hopefully we see some interesting designs, and yeah, just have fun checking this product out. So we got Combat Immortals. I believe this is the same. Yeah, that's going to be the same parallels. And again, they're doubling up on gold and they're doubling up on 101s. So kind of something to think about there, depending on if you're trying to target one of those. Fedor Emelianenko, John Jones, Francis Ngannou, Mark Kerr, Deontay Wilder, Ben Askren, Tim Sylvia, Boss Rutan, Kung Lee, Chuck Liddell, Pedro Izzo, Josh Barnett, Butterbean, Matt Hughes, Mike Tyson, Frank Shamrock, Eric Goodrich, Demetrius Johnson, Tommy Hearns, Daniel Cormier, Minoru Suzuki, Mark Coleman, Maurice Smith, Quentin Jackson, Floyd Mayweather. That one's not too bad, honestly. There's a lot in there that I would hit. So Combat Immortals might be the one that I'm pulling for as far as the inserts go. In the Golden Age, I think this is the same as well in the parallels. These might all be the same here. We got Mark Kerr, Tommy Hearns, Quentin Jackson, Guy Metzger, Tim Sylvia, Ken Shamrock, Ric Flair, Fedor, Josh Barnett, Chael Sonnen, Matt Hughes, Floyd Mayweather, Daniel Cormier, Hulk Hogan, Butterbean, Kurt Angle, Tony Atlas, Maurice Smith, Mark Coleman, Chuck Liddell, Dr. Rob, Frank Shamrock, Pedro Izzo, Ivan Putski, and Mike Tyson. Some big names in that one as well, man. And the Kaboom. All right, let's see. What are they going to get us with? Hopefully they got the right names in here and we got a big hit rate. Dakota Decheva, yup. Hulk Hogan, yup. Usman, yup. Ngannou, yup. Hammerstone, I don't know. Butterbean, okay. Mystico, all right. Mike Tyson, yup. Matt Riddle. John Jones, yup. Paul Hughes. I mean, could be. He's had some really fight toughs with Usman, so definitely could be. Ric Flair, yup. Fedor, yup. Deontay, yeah, I had fun watching him in his run. Mayweather Jr., yup. Walter Hauser, I don't know. Tommy Hearns, that would be cool. Satoshi Kojima, I don't know who that is. Van Zant, don't want it. So, decent hit rate on there. Again, I'd be hyped if I hit any Kaboom because that's going to be a big hit in this product. But, checklist. It's anthology, right? To be expected. We're not going to be fans of everybody in this checklist. That's kind of how it's going to go with this rip. Ring royalty. We got Hogan, Matt Riddle, Paul Walter Hauser, Alex Hammerstone, Ultimo Guerrero, Brock Anderson, Paige Van Zandt, Don King. Don King have in this is pretty hilarious. Mike Tyson, Kenta, Ric Flair, Minoru Suzuki, Satoshi Kojima, Bobby Fish, Butterbean, C.W. Anderson, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Donovan Dijak, Fedor Emelianenko, Matt Kruger, Kurt Angle, Mystico, Tom Lawler, Shotski Blackheart, and Deontay Wilder. So very interesting, very, very interesting, man. We're going to see, right? We're going to get it. We're going to check it out. We're going to see what's in this checklist. I think this is going to be a fun rip personally. At the 120 price point, it's going to be super risky. But if you are a fan of combat sports in general and you like WWE, there's probably a lot of names in this that you would really appreciate. Now, me coming in, not really being a fan of pro wrestling, definitely limits the amount of hits that I could potentially get and be hyped about. But this was one of those products where I just like the idea of the combat sports anthology. And so I wanted to kind of support the idea of trying to mix it up and potentially bringing in, multiple worlds within the combat sports zones and put them together. I think it's really cool that we get boxing cards and MMA legend cards together. And we also get, some up-and-coming people in PFL. We have Usman, Dakota Decheva, Paul Hughes. We had a couple other ones in there that I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But definitely there's a little bit of buzz on some of the younger people in this product as well. So I am very, very excited and very interested to get this. And hopefully we get a good box and, check it out. Should be coming in early November. And then we'll rip that thing. If you like UFC cards, you're probably going to like my channel. So check out these videos over here and subscribe for more videos just like this.